Welcome back to Fireside Giants. My name is Alexander Wilson, your host, and today we're going to be giving a daily update regarding Evan Engram and his foot injury. So in 2019, Engram suffered a mid-foot sprain, which forced him out for multiple games, and subsequently he had surgery this offseason. So 3 months ago, this is when the surgery went down, he is still in a walking boot. So 3 months later, after the surgery, he is still in a walking boot. That is extremely concerning considering he has been injured frequently over the first 3 seasons of his career. He's missed 14 games due to injury in his 3 years as a New York Giant. And with 2020 coming up, the Giants have until May to decide whether or not they want to essentially accept his fifth-year option. And that's a big question that all of us are wondering, do the Giants accept the fifth-year contract option for 2021? Personally, I'm going to say no to this one because you can't have a guy who's missed almost 1 year of play in just 2 seasons, the last 2 seasons. So his first year, when he was a rookie and OBJ was missing a significant portion of the season, he looked fantastic. I mean, he put up really good numbers, 722 yards, which was his career high at the point, and it still is. 6 touchdown catches, which is still his high over 3 seasons. Regardless, he had a 55.7 catch rate, which is extremely low and the lowest it's been in his 3 years. But he did improve over the course of his tenure as the tight end for the Giants. And last season, he only played in 8 games starting in 6. 2018, he played in 11 games starting 8. So you can kind of see the trend here. He's actually decreasing in games played every season. I've been a big fan of actually thinking about trading him. So, this is something that I've been thinking about for a while now, and I've tweeted out. And if you haven't followed me on Twitter yet, Alex Wilson ESM is where I post all of my content, and Instagram, Empire Sports Media. I'm posting things all the time, discussion. So keep an eye out for those things. But Evan Engram's been one of those guys that I've tweeted about a few times, saying that I think that the Giants should consider trading him. I thought that they might consider trading him last, at the trade deadline in 2019. I think a third-round pick would be worth it, personally. I mean, the only good player is one that's available. You know what I mean? If you're injured, you can't perform, you can't put up points, you can't put up yards. There's no point in even building an offense around a player who's not going to be on the field. And Engram hasn't proven to me or anybody that he can be healthy for an entire season. So that leaves me to believe the Giants might be better off acquiring a third-round pick potentially, if someone is willing to give that up, and allocating towards a player that might be of starting material, at least giving it a shot. I mean, look where they got Connolly last year, Darius Slayton. There's a lot of players and a lot of talent to be taken in this upcoming draft, so it might be worth it if a team's willing to take a flyer on Engram despite his injury woes. However, this also leaves the tight end grouping for the Giants in a little bit of limbo, and the reason is Rhett Ellison, who I believe will be cut this offseason, is contemplating retirement after concussions last year. So we have Engram, who's in a walking boot, which is extremely concerning considering it's 3 months after his surgery, and Rhett Ellison, who's contemplating retirement. This leaves the Giants with Caden Smith as their top dog. Caden Smith was really good in 2019, 268 yards and 3 touchdown passes. I think 2 of them came against the Washington Redskins, in which they won that game in overtime. He secured that game-winning catch. So something to note, 73.8 catch rate. That's really, really impressive for a rookie, and I think he can develop into a really talented player, and giving him a full rep and season workload would be really, really beneficial for him and the Giants. And Daniel Jones looked like he had pretty good chemistry with him in the short yardage game. He had 8.6 yards per reception, which is pretty impressive. And that's exactly what you want. You want a guy that can block, but also, perform well in the receiving and be a good receiver for Daniel Jones, a security blanket. And I think he can be kind of that Jason Witten guy in a Jason Garrett offense, which is something I'm looking forward to see how he utilizes these tight ends. We could see the Giants go out and sign somebody if they consider, trading Evan Engram. I don't know if it's worth even keeping him anymore, as I stated before. Please comment in the section below to let me know what you think about Evan Engram, if you think they should trade him, or what they should do with his contract. I don't think they should pick up his 5th-year option. It's not worth it in my opinion. He will still be on a rookie deal, but it'll be a lot more expensive than what he's contributed to the Giants so far. The Giants need to be a healthier team, and I think bringing guys in that don't have that kind of history would be the better option for them moving forward. So that's pretty much it for my update of the day regarding Evan Engram. We'll have plenty more coming in future days, and please stick around to listen more of Fireside Giants. We have our podcast coming out on Tuesday, so that's going to be very exciting. And like I said before, if you haven't followed me on Twitter, Alex Wilson ESM, thank you so much for tuning in.